They called him America's governor after his daily COVID press briefings won him international acclaim at the height of Washington's muddled messaging on mitigation efforts. But a third bombshell report in the New York Times Monday shares the account of a woman, Anna Rutsch, who met Cuomo at a wedding in 2019 when he put his hand on her lower back and then her cheeks, asking if he could kiss her. When she removed his hands, he allegedly called her aggressive. The incident was witnessed by a friend. Two women had already stepped forward. First, Lindsay Boylan, a former special advisor to Cuomo, wrote she had been subjected to pervasive harassment, including being asked to play strip poker and receiving an unwanted kiss on the mouth, a claim Cuomo denied in December.
Yeah, I heard about the tweet and what it said about comments that I had made, and it's not true, Zach. Look, I fought for and I believe a woman has the right to come forward and express her opinion and express issues and concerns that she has, but it's just not true.
Former aide Charlotte Bennett, who's almost 40 years his junior, claims Cuomo made inappropriate remarks about her sex life, including asking her whether she had ever had sex with older men.
Obviously saddened by these allegations. I mean, we are not taking away from the governor's performance on issues that have to do with the fight against the pandemic. But, you know, these allegations are serious. And you have more than one women making the allegations. And really, Sherwin, it is usually the person who is in authority who has the capacity to harass those that are his juniors. It is never the other way around. So the pattern that you are seeing is the pattern that we've seen all over again.
Mlambo Ngcuka called for a thorough investigation with clear recommendations on a course of action as New York's Attorney General Letitia James confirmed her office was proceeding with a rigorous probe, promising a public report on their findings.
No place is safe. Where there are power relations, these power relations tend to extend to men thinking that women's bodies are a free-for-all. This is a cultural pattern that is so entrenched. We can never think that we have evolved. We have men who are who are already exposed to the value system that we are trying to entrench, who will behave in the right way. We have to be alert all the time, and we should believe women. That what we have learned in this short time of intensity is that women will not go out of their way to make these allegations because there's a price for them to pay as well.
Top Democrat Speaker Nancy Pelosi has called the claims credible as the chorus grows for Cuomo to step down. But that seems unlikely in the short term, given the statement issued by the governor this past Sunday. Quote, "I now understand that my interactions may have been insensitive or too personal, and that some of my comments, given my position, made others feel in ways I never intended. I acknowledge some of the things I have said have been misinterpreted as an unwanted flirtation. To the extent anyone felt that way, I am truly sorry about that," close quotes. He also denies ever inappropriately touching anyone, a direct contradiction to the latest allegations against him. Sherwin Bryce-Pease, SABC News, New York.
And Sherwin, joining us live now from New York. Sherwin, it seems like you've outlined a fall from grace here. I mean, these are claims right now, that's all they are. But this was a governor initially lauded for his response to the COVID-19 pandemic. And then things started to unravel earlier this year.
This is a governor, Francis, that won an International Emmy Award for the masterclass he presented in those briefings, giving people the very latest current information as it related to the coronavirus spread in the state of New York at a time when there was misinformation and muddled messaging coming out of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Enter the Attorney General of the state of New York, Letitia James, releasing a report in late January of this year in which she raised questions about the administration's reporting on the number of deaths linked to nursing homes and frail care facilities in the state. There is also, in addition to that report, a federal investigation led by the Justice Department in Washington, D.C., that is investigating whether the state intentionally manipulated data regarding deaths in nursing homes and the assisted living facilities in the state. Now, Letitia James is again in the fray, as she has now been tasked with leading an independent investigation into the sexual harassment claims, 3 and counting, against the governor of New York State. She tweeted, and I think we have this if we could put it on screen, "Today, we received a referral letter providing our office the authority to move forward with an independent investigation into allegations of sexual harassment claims made against Governor Cuomo. At the close of the review, Francis," she writes, "that the findings will be disclosed in a public report." So the name, Letitia James, Attorney General of the state of New York, something you'll be hearing in the weeks and months ahead.
And we heard the top Democrat female saying these are credible claims. What's also interesting, the victims of these alleged assaults have not stopped speaking out.
Yeah, what tends to normally happen in these types of cases is you have a victim come forward with an allegation and then they'll disappear until there is some sort of investigation or a court process. What we've heard are continued responses from the victims in this case. They responded to the governor's statement on Sunday in which he, sort of had a half-hearted apology. Charlotte Bennett, the 25-year-old that worked in the governor's office, she writes that, as you know, abusers, particularly those with tremendous amounts of power, are often repeat offenders who engage in manipulative tactics to diminish allegations, blame victims, deny wrongdoing, and escape consequences. It took the governor 24 hours, she writes, and significant backlash to allow a truly independent investigation. These are not actions of someone who simply feels misunderstood. They are the actions of an individual who wields power to avoid justice. We also heard from Lindsay Boyan in a tweet responding to the new revelations of the third account in the New York Times. She says, "The latest claims don't make me feel vindicated." Remember, she's the person that first raised concerns in December last year. She says, "The latest claims don't make me feel vindicated. It makes me feel sick. I feel nauseous thinking about Anna's experience. I'm sending her love and light. Charlotte and I are with you, Anna." So a stark difference here from these alleged victims as they continue to speak into the public record as to how they see these events around sexual harassment allegations against the governor unfold, Francis. Let's listen to Phumzile Mlambo-Ngcuka. She talked specifically, Francis, about how victims feel in moments like these. Watch.
What we have learned in this short time of intensity is that women will not go out of their way to make these allegations because there's a price for them to pay as well. The scrutiny that they are under, and sometimes they actually feel that there's double jeopardy for them because they are trolled, they get cyberbullied. So you never do this for any other reasons except that you want justice. And women don't make these decisions lightly. But it's also very important for the political parties who have strong views of these matters to come up when it is one of their own and demand the same justice that they would demand for everyone else, both men and women of the party of the suspects.
Probably a good point at which to flag International Women's Day, March 8th. That's next Monday, Francis. The theme, women in leadership, achieving an equal future in the COVID-19 world. So very much women in leadership speaking to the current events facing the governor of New York.
All right, Sherwin, so with growing calls now for the governor to resign and evidence that points at the very least to some guilt on his part or some level of guilt, will he walk?
Yeah, it's an interesting question because there's no direct line between allegations coming to the fore and people necessarily resigning. I'll remind you of those revealing comments by then candidate Donald Trump on a bus, caught on a live mic, talking about grabbing women on their private parts, essentially, and still then being elected president of the United States. So I think, certainly people that are accused here feel slightly more emboldened. Perhaps they can ride this wave out and see, where this investigation lands. But let's wait and see what Letitia James comes out. She is probably going to make it very hard for the governor to ignore her findings.
All right, thank you. He'll follow that for us. Great to have you with us. As always, SABC's news correspondent in the US, Sherwin Bryce-Pease.